to lesson 6, the final lesson of unit 2. Today we're talking about derivatives part 4, and here it should be a really quick lesson. It's just applying the rules for tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. So in terms of trig functions, so far we have seen the derivative of sine, the derivative of cosine, and what those are, cosine and negative sine. And today we're introducing the other 4. We have tangent, the derivative of tangent is secant squared. Cosecant, so the reciprocal function of sine, the derivative of which is negative cosecant cotan. Secant, the derivative of which is secant tan. And cotangent, the derivative of which is negative cosecant squared. Now I have a little bit of a tool that I have used in the past to help remember those last 4 derivative rules. This is what I learned when I was in calculus in high school. And that is this sort of matrix of letters, TSS, CT, negative CS, CS. Okay, so you just ask, if I want the derivative of tangent, then it's the 2 to the right, secant squared, secant times secant. Or if I wanted the derivative of cotangent, that is negative cosecant squared. And it works in the opposite direction as well. The derivative of secant is secant tan, and the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotan. So just a tool that I've used in the past to help remember these. But ultimately, all 6 of these do need to be committed to memory. You will not get a formula sheet or anything on the AP exam. So let's look at a couple of examples. In fact, we're just going to look at this one example. So find the derivative of the following function. So we have tan times cosecant. So first thing we notice here is that this is a product rule. So I might try to apply the product rule. So taking the first, multiplying by the derivative of the second being cosecant, its derivative being negative cosecant cotan, and moving on with the second times the derivative of the first being tangent, the derivative of which being secant squared. Now the rest is just going to be me doing some trig to simplify this expression. Okay, so I like to write everything in terms of sine and cosine, and then cancel things out where they can. Okay, and then rewrite them as non-reciprocal functions, factor a little, and then we can use a trig identity to rewrite secant squared minus 1 as tangent squared. And then if I were to rewrite cosecant and tan squared in terms of sine and cosine, ultimately this ends up being just secant times tangent. Now, that is the answer, and some of you may be screaming at the top of your lungs, Mr. Southard, what if we had simplified the original expression? Okay, so simplifying the original expression, tangent times secant, can be rewritten as sine over cosine times 1 over sine. The sines cancel, and I'm left with just secant. And if we think about our derivative rules from the previous page, the derivative of secant is just secant tangent. Okay, so 2 ways to get from the beginning to the end. One obviously a lot shorter than the other, but both very valid processes. So, in summary, stay calm, learn your differentiation rules. You must have these committed to memory before the AP exam, and honestly, earlier than the AP exam, because we have things that we're doing in class where these need to be committed to memory. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.